I was real pumped to do comedy for you tonight, and I came to the show early so I could relax, and then I went to the bathroom to take a shit, and it was going great, and then someone opened the door. Was that you? It did happen, and instead of closing the door, they just laughed and pointed at me. And then there was a woman in the men's room, and she just went, "Oh my God, I can't," and walked out. And I was yelling, "Close the door!" And none of you did. And then I had to like cup my dick and waddle, but I didn't wipe yet, so I didn't know if I was dripping shit everywhere. So really, fuck you, Cleveland. But I'm from here. So I love you. It's mixed. You're like my high school girlfriend. I don't know how I feel about you right now. Oh my God, I have anxiety real bad. Anyone else in here ever had a fucking panic attack? Yeah, that's not how they feel. That's not how they feel at all. You're thinking of cocaine. That's what you are thinking of. You're all on cocaine, which makes a lot of sense for this loud-ass crowd. You're all coked up. I had a panic attack, and the first time I ever had one at a comedy club was in downtown Cleveland. And I had a panic attack, and I didn't want like any of you or anyone to see me have a panic attack, so I just went on the streets of Cleveland to have a panic attack. Have you guys been out there yet? It's a goddamn night. I'm bent over, I'm trying to breathe, and people are just like walking by me, and they're just like, "Yeah, LeBron left. This checks out." And so I think I'm dying, and I feel this hand start caressing my back, and I think it's another comic or a friend or somebody, and I turn around. It's just a homeless guy. But he gives me this nod as if to say we're gonna get through it together, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, homeless guy, take me on a journey." And so I get through it, and I stand up, and I'm like, "Thank you so much, I needed that, I thought I was dying. My name's Joe Briggs, I love you." And without skipping a beat, he just goes, "So you have any money?" And I gave him all of the money I had, because I was like, if I would have gone to a regular doctor, this would have been hundreds of dollars. But I opted for street medicine in Cleveland, Ohio. And in the back of my head, I was like, I saved so much money tonight, holy shit. My dad's proud of me. He's at home and he's just like, "I'm proud, boy. I'm proud." I bought a bidet. Yeah, everyone clapped. That guy, too happy about it. That guy's like, "I rinse daily, even when I don't shit. I just like the way my wet bum feels." Hell yeah, brother, me too. But I bought a bidet and I installed it myself, and I went to use it, and the first time I used it, I didn't have to shit. I don't, you know like when the military does a military exercise before the actual war? I was like, I'm gonna do that for my butthole. I'm gonna do a dry run of this bidet, and I'm gonna see how it goes. And so I sit down to use my bidet, and there's a knob on the side, and the knob control, does anyone have a bidet? What does the knob control? Yell it out. Pressure. It controls the water pressure. I didn't read the instructions. So I sat down and I just turned it to what I thought was on. And it hit me with a force that I can only describe as upset fire hose. And it went right in the hole. It went first try right at, Tiger Woods would have seen it and been like, "That's a good shot." I don't know goddamn, how did he manage that? That is a good shot. And so it went, and I know how bodies work, but I swear to God, a little bit of water came out of my mouth. I know that like doctors are like, there's like a roadmap in there, but there's a shortcut and they haven't found it yet, and some water came out. And so I'm in my bathroom and I jump and I scream so loud and I start crying. I live alone and I'm like, they're not tears. That was for me only. Nobody saw it. And so I turn it off and I go outside to have a cigarette and just think about who I've become as a man now. And I get out on my porch and I'm going to raise my cigarette and my hand is shaking. Like when you asked your granddad about the Great War. Like that kind of shake. And so I get it up to my mouth and I light it and I'm sitting out there and my neighbor comes outside. And he comes out and he just looks at me and he's like, "Hey man, did you just hear a woman scream?" Because I heard a woman scream. And I was like, "Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it." I love my mom. She's a sweetheart, and The only thing I hate about her is I never wanted her to catch me doing anything wrong growing up. Like, you know, when your mom catches you fucking around. Well, I brought my girlfriend home from college one time, and my parents were like, we're gonna go to dinner, and me and my girlfriend were like, we're gonna do it. And we didn't say that to my mom, but we were like, we're gonna do it. And so my parents leave, and me and my girl, we fucking did it good. You would have looked at us, and you would have been like, that's the stuff. You would have been like, get in there, that's my boy. Make daddy proud, that's what you would have said. His words, not mine. And so we do it, and we use protection, because I'm like, I never want to have kids. That's something I'm terrified of, you know? And so I use a condom, and when I'm done, I take it, and I roll it up in a paper towel, and I put it in the bottom of the trash. And I'm like, I'm never gonna see this again, because that's how the trash works. And so my mom gets home from the Outback Steakhouse, and we're like, how was Outback? And she's like, they always deliver, how dare you ask? And we're like, take it easy, Mom. And then she takes the trash out, and she puts it on the patio, and she goes, before you go to bed, put this trash in the bin. And then I fell asleep immediately, because I had a big release. It was so big, you would have loved it. You would have been like, that's the stuff, that's my boy. Look at that load, that's my son. I dumped. And so, I dumped good. So that night, raccoons got into the trash. Yeah. And they like went to town, they feasted, they ate everything. But then when they were done, they took the condom and they just laid it on top of the trash bag. And then went, you know, like raccoons do. And so my mom wakes me up in the morning and she's just like, you need to see something. If your mom ever does that to you, you don't need to see shit. You don't need to see anything. So she takes me outside and she shows me my own work. And she goes, do you know what you did wrong? And it was 8 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't thinking clearly, and I looked at my mom and I was just like, yeah, I used a condom. Some of you didn't laugh, that's the right answer, you shouldn't have. It's not funny, it wasn't funny. That was the first day of winter break, and we ate every meal in complete silence. Every meal, nobody's talking. And my dad is at the dinner table, and he's like, I don't know what happened, but these are the best goddamn meals I've ever had in my entire life.